Hi, everyone. Welcome to YouTube Growth Workshops. These are virtual events that we host every weekend at our YouTube channel called YouTube Growth Connection. You can watch us live at the YouTube Growth Connection channel, or if you want to take things to the next level, you can join us in the Zoom room to discuss ideas live. Our key goal is to help you, give you the strategies to grow your YouTube channel, give you a space where you can exchange feedback with other creators and experts and collaborate to create content together that will get you more views and more subscribers. Welcome. Today I have something very special for everyone who's watching. I am going to lead with a presentation about what I like to call the channel unique formula. Channel unique formula is a strategy that I have been tweaking for a couple of years. I initially learned it when I first took my first YouTube course that taught people how to launch and grow a YouTube channel and turn it into a full-time income. At the time when I heard that for the first time, it was so inspiring. And now today, I'm very pleased to say that I am doing that for YouTube creators. The key of the channel unique formula is to help you with your branding. And I want you to know that branding may not probably be what you think it is. A lot of people talk about colors, talk about logos, but that's not at all what channel unique branding means to me and to the whole world of marketing. Even though colors and logos are somewhat important, people remember our channels or our brands because of those colors and logos. They're only a very small part. Channel branding is the unique of your channel, of your content. And I wanted to take an interesting approach, a very unconventional approach to this, which is a scientific one. When it comes to YouTube, as you know, you have to be consistent, publish content on a regular basis, and learn strategies like this one, and tweak your content based on the audience reaction that you're receiving. If you published a video, notice that it's not getting as many impressions and clicks, it's probably because the topic is not important enough or unique enough. If you're getting a lot of impressions, a wide reach, but people are not clicking, you're not getting views, that means your title and thumbnail could use some work. It's all about experimentation, basically. That's why I'm talking about a scientific approach. But there's a big problem with experimentation that most people are probably not aware of. In order to experiment effectively, meaning you do a test, you get results, you adjust a variable, and then you test again in the hopes of getting better results. That's doing science the right way. The problem is with YouTube creators and the whole YouTube world in general is that it seems very hard to do that. Why? Because we have the tendency to play with a lot of variables at the same time. I know it seems like I'm rambling forever, but hear me out. When you don't have a channel branding that provides that foundation, that consistent matter that your channel is, you are doing science with a lot of variables, a lot of changing variables. In other words, from video A to video B, you make too many changes. So it's very hard to measure what works and what doesn't, because there's too much going on and you don't know exactly why a video performed well or flopped. With channel unique branding, and I'm going to talk about this a lot more today, you are starting with something solid that you can add variables to it. Today, if you do the work, if you understand and pay attention to the lesson, you're going to be able to have all the tools to create your unique channel branding, and then set yourself up not only to deliver more value and stand out in your niche, but also to have that foundation to experiment. That means today you can build your channel unique branding, create a video, and next time you're going to improve your ability to identify what didn't work in your video. And then you tweak that and you post a new video. And again, we're changing only one variable. And by changing one variable at a time after each video, by keeping all the other variables consistent, that's the core of science. You're going to be able to really understand what works and what doesn't. The problem is, without channel unique branding, we are testing too much. And then the next time we make another video, we just change a lot of things. The counterpart of this is that some people do have branding, but they're not so aware of what it is. They are repeating a lot of elements video after video, but they have not analyzed exactly what the branding is. And the problem with that is that they are more unique than they give themselves credit for. And that could be a problem, because when you don't see uniqueness, other people are less likely to see that uniqueness as well. Let's get started with a lesson. You're gonna love this. For those who were here a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to go over some of the concepts that I did last time again, because for two reasons. One, because I tweaked this presentation quite a bit. I improved it with new ideas, better organization of ideas. And the second reason is that I want to make sure the lesson is not broken into too many pieces. You want to have the whole one shot today. So I'm going to go over some ideas, maybe a little fast. But if you need an explanation, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section of YouTube Growth Workshops where these videos play live, and I'll be happy to answer. In fact, I want to have a look at the live page. Let's continue. So you probably have been creating content for your channel for a while, but are not seeing the growth that you were hoping for. And let me tell you this, you can change things around. Getting successful videos is not about luck, it's about implementing the right strategy consistently. It's not consistency alone, and it's not a magic formula. You have to do both. And today we're going to get you started on that. In fact, this could probably be the most important assignment that you do for your channel in a long time. Doing this well could mean the difference between making it or breaking it. So I want you to pay extra attention. I really want you to engage in the presentation, ask questions, make comments, and more importantly, get things done. So let's go. The unique channel formula. As some of you know, I built a framework called the 5 principles of viral content. And uniqueness is one of the principles of viral content. Without uniqueness, you're going to have a really hard time standing out from the competition. That's why one of the key benefits of uniqueness is to stand out. When you do things right, if you've done your research, your video should be positioned in the same place as your competitors' videos. But then, once you are in the right crowd, you have to make sure that you're seen by the crowd. If you blend with them, they're not going to see you. More about the key benefits. Increased recognition and memorability. If you have a unique branding, unique channel formula, people are going to remember you quicker because they say, I remember him or her because of this. Nobody's doing that. I really love that he's doing this. And that's him. That's her. Then you have creating a loyal audience. Again, by being unique, people are being loyal to you because they say, he's the only one doing this. I can't get the experience that he made from anybody else. And I love him for it. That's what you want from your fans. I am not kidding. And the next thing, the most obvious and probably the most tired out argument that you're going to ever hear about YouTube growth advice and strategy is to increase your views and subscribers. So you see how I pointed out some other interesting benefits that in reality are going to pay off way more than views and subscribers. But still, I can't let this one out. Increasing your views and subscribers is critical because that is the very definition of channel growth. Let's move on. Every YouTuber needs a clear answer to these 4 questions. Remember them well, because that's exactly what's going to guide the rest of this presentation. What is my channel about? It may sound extremely simple, but what I noticed in YouTube creators is that they often have a very generic answer to this question. Most people, when they are asked what their channel is about, they say their niche: spirituality, health, fitness, video games. And that is not doing justice to your channel. You need to really nail this question. The second thing is what is relevant about the people present in the videos. When we say people present, we're talking about the creator, that's you, what's special about you, basically, and other people who may be involved in your video. I know that a lot of you do videos by yourself. You're the only person, the only participant in the video, and that's okay. But obviously there are other creators, there are a lot of creators who bring friends over, who interview people on the street, who interview influencers for their interview show, etc. And there is something also special about them, that adds a unique, an extra angle, layer of meaning to the nature of the channel. The next one is what relevant conditions are present in my videos. Relevant conditions, we're going to do a deep breakdown of this, but think about any condition that has an effect on how the video is going to come out. It could be that when you're giving advice on anything, it could be that you're doing it on a budget. Learn fashion on a budget. Learn DIY, learn woodworking on a budget, right? That's a specific condition. You can say that your condition is that you're doing it blindfolded. I play video games blindfolded. I play Mario Maker blindfolded. Anything that's a condition could be an interesting angle for your channel. You want to know the answer to this question. And the last one is, how do I present your videos? This is, in a few words, this is what's showing on screen. Right now, I'm talking to the camera. So what's showing on the screen is my face. The second thing is that I am using a slideshow to present the lesson. And that's another way I'm presenting the video. I want to get a clear picture of this because often, if you run out of ideas, I don't want you to take this too literally, but if you run out of ideas and you can't seem to find something super unique, sometimes just the way you present your video makes all the difference. Now we're going to break this really down. And by the end of this, you should have a clear answer to these 4 questions. You're going to have what I call a channel unique formula, which becomes the foundation of what every video on your channel is going to be about. This is like you're almost like a mission statement. This is like your description of what it is you do in your channel. And it has to be valuable, which is another one of the principles of viral content, unique, And the last part that I'm going to give you is that it has to disrupt patterns. I'm going to get to that later, but you're going to love that last part. What is your channel about? 4 components are going to help you answer this question. I'm going to go through this rather quickly because we got a lot to cover. So you have niche, audience, structure, and tone. The niche we discussed. We already discussed. If you have a video games channel, your niche can be gaming, right? Then you have audience. Audience is who your content is made for. If you have a gaming channel, your content could be for hardcore gamers, for example, because it's not any gamer. It's a specific type of gamer within that niche, right? Getting specific makes it more unique. Got it? In fact, moving forward, I wanted to consider each of these elements of the channel unique formula as layers that build on top of each other. So the deeper you go, the more unique you're going to be. Structure. Structure is how you present your video, but not in the way I explained you before. You will want to think in terms of walkthroughs, Q&A, interviews. What else? Reaction, timeline, summary, theory, top 10. That's the type of structure. The structure, to me, an easy way to define it is how it looks when you are outlining or scripting your video. By the way, outlining, in case you don't know or you haven't heard, means literally that, how you structure your video. How it looks like, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Then you have the tone. The tone is extremely important. And the tone, let me give you some examples. The tone could be inspirational, informative, story-driven, critical, comedy, sarcastic, controversial. All of those are tones. And funny enough, you can have 2 channels that are exactly the same in terms of niche, audience, and structure, but the tone alone can make an entire different channel that would probably stand out more than other people who have tones that are more boring or more conventional. So there you have it. Below these 4, take notes on everything that I'm saying because this is gold. And what I'd like you to do is to spend a minute to think about where all these elements fit into your channel. Are you able to tell me in one short sentence what your channel is about using these 4 elements? If you are, great. See if you can write that down. If not, like I said, I really want to make sure I get all the concepts in within this hour that we got for ourselves. So I rather keep going. You can always watch the recording if you would need to do the assignment. That's question number 1. Question number 2, you're gonna love this. People, YouTube creators tend to underestimate how important it is, the kind of person that they are for their videos. So creator and participant is the who of your channel. And that can really give you a competitive advantage when it comes to your niche, because nobody is you, basically. That's the short answer to why this is so important. But you have to recognize how special you are. If you take yourself for granted and say that you don't stand out, that you're not unique, that there's nothing special about you, you're going to struggle. Let me give you some prompts that will help you define what's so special about you. Personality. Are you shy? Are you extroverted? Are you a nerd? Are you weird? Are you all controlling? Anything about your personality that you could insert in your videos should go into your videos. Don't miss an opportunity to let people know what you are like, because that's how they connect with you. Then we have passions. You can be passionate about your niche, of course. That's why, otherwise you would not be making videos about it. Definitely no. But you could have other passions. In my case, my niche is YouTube growth advice, but I'm also passionate about personal development. And that's a part of me that I would like to insert in my videos. Do you have other passions? Maybe you are a gamer who's also passionate about movies. Maybe you are a DIY channel and you're also passionate about music. Whatever that is, combining passions is very, very powerful. It's a smart way of appealing to two audiences without compromising either one. Social roles. Social roles and occupation are sort of similar, actually. Social role. Are you a leader? Are you a mother? Are you a son? Are you a brother? Are you a student? Are you a boss? Do you have a boss? Are you a 9-to-5-er? Do you happen to work in some kind of, are you a public servant? Are you a university professor? Any of those roles, maybe, I don't know, you could be a plumber, whatever the case might be. Your job, your social roles can also add more personality to your channel. And as you can see, I hope you've been following me so far. By using all these prompts and injecting them into your channel formula, being unique becomes a lot easier. Because I have the belief that nobody's dumb. Nobody's dumb and nobody is not creative. You need tools that unleash your creativity. That's what I'm here for. Let's talk about other things that make the creator the creator. Flaws. Do you have something that you don't like about yourself? If you're overweight, you might have seen people who are very fat and they don't mind saying it, and they tell stories about that, about how insecure they are about it, about how they don't mind at all being overweight. That's part of them. Imagine the comedian 𝘂𝘂𝗍𝗄 𝘂𝐿. Imagine if he wasn't fat. He would be a completely different character. And it looks like he doesn't mind. I'm not really sure, honestly, from a personal standpoint. Not really sure how much he cares or doesn't care. But he doesn't stop loving himself because of it. And that's critical. And that's, I hope you were paying attention. And that's where my passion comes in. When I teach YouTube strategies, I love adding personal development to it. So do you have flaws? Maybe my flaw is that my eyesight is poor. I said that in a video recently. Another flaw could be that you are lazy, that you procrastinate, that you have some kind of addiction. You could be addicted to video games. You could be a person who wakes up late every day. Whatever there is, embrace it and make it part of your videos. People want to know that there's a human behind the camera. Hobbies. Hobbies is sort of similar to passions. Anything that you do outside your channel niche could become an interesting mention for your videos. Stories. Stories is a big one. Stories covers really everything. Stories of failure, stories of success, stories of vulnerability, stories that are funny, stories with your friends, with your family, at work, anything that's makes you important, anything that taught you a lesson, anything that will make people laugh or cry, go tell the story. Oh, that was big. Well, the who behind the videos is extremely important, an extremely important component of the channel unique formula. Let's continue. Now, this is the fun one. In fact, this is fun, but it's also the one that took me the longest time to figure out. Because the question is, what relevant conditions are present in the videos? And the problem with this question is that there's an infinite number of possibilities. I did my best to come up with as many categories as possible for you to brainstorm, but I could not cover all of them. So you're going to do two things for me. One is to take advantage of the list that I'm able to give you and brainstorm as many ideas as possible. And the second thing is, if you're not satisfied with the list that you made or the channel unit formula that you made, go on YouTube and start finding more relevant conditions that other creators are using that you could borrow. And again, the cool part about this is that you can borrow a few things from a big channel on YouTube and still make something that has nothing to do with that channel. In other words, you have a license to steal. Borrow a lot of ideas from other creators and make something crazy unique because you have this framework. Let's talk about the conditions that I put down here. Numbers. Adding numbers makes everything more specific and tangible. If you say three strategies to grow your YouTube channel, that is way better than simply saying strategies to grow a YouTube channel. Making it more specific draws attention to the idea immediately. It's more likely. It's way more likely to draw attention by being specific. You can use numbers in other ways, like saying losing 20 pounds, spending 24 hours without food. You get that, right? Money and time are sort of similar. So how to make 100 YouTube videos in 30 days under $100. There you go. You can say things like on a budget with a specific amount, number again, $100, $1,000. It doesn't matter if it's a really big one or a small one or a mid-size amount. It matters that it's specific. You can also say with no money or for free. Then you have time. Time means two different things. One is time as a unit of measurement, meaning this took me, I'm going to do this in 1 hour. I'm going to do this in 50 seconds. I'm going to do this in 5 minutes. I'm going to do this in 60 days, 30 days, 90 days, etc. Another way to use time is to talk about a specific date. You may have heard creators who like to say, add the current date to make sure your content seems more relevant. That's an extremely simple and good strategy. So you can go use that, make sure that your video is actually matching that. Don't use clickbait. So time could mean that as well. If you're talking about the present, the best YouTube short strategies for 2023, you got that covered. More relevant, you can say, what if World War II had happened in the 1990s instead? But that's a very, very good, crazy idea. Something to think about if you're a historian or somebody who has a bachelor in history. That is a pretty wild idea that would trigger a lot of questions from viewers. So time could mean that as well. Or imagine that we have smartphones in the medieval times. Then that's how time becomes a variable. You can go really insane, as you can tell. Objects. Objects is a hard one because it's a very broad term. Objects could be microphone. Objects could be phone. Other words that end in phone. You can talk about your devices, of course, as I pointed out. You can talk about when you do things, if you want to do something with a blindfold, like some kind of stunt, the blindfold is a condition, but it's also an object, right? So it's an object. And with your hands tied, you can tie your hands and do something physically, difficult. And you can talk about, you can use outfits too. Like the other day, I saw a video where it was one of these YouTuber guys from channel makers, and he was dressed up in a Santa Claus outfit. So the right outfit could really, draw attention to you and consequently bring more views to your channel. Environment. Are you filming indoors, outdoors? Is it too hot? Maybe you can say that you did a winter activity in a really hot day, like playing hockey. You can reverse this. You can say that you did something that is, you did a picnic in winter. You get what I'm saying? Reversing and using opposites is a very smart way to draw more attention to your channel. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. And more things about the environment. You could be that you went to the Fan Expo and you met 𝘳𝘂𝗍. I think he went to the Comic-Con actually last year, but doesn't matter. That's environment. Location. Location is similar. It also sort of matches with environment, but environment is more like weather, outdoors, mountain, location is anywhere. School, work, your home. That sounds very simple and minor, but can make a difference. Especially when you take advantage of what I like to call pattern disruption. That is the biggest strategy that I'm going to reveal at the end of the video. And you can go on forever. Some people, I've seen vloggers who like to record in their cars. So that is a location condition. Also, I just thought about a condition at the end right here, which is animals or pets. And I just remember because there is a guy who does vlogging in his car with his dog. The dog being there makes a difference. The channel would not be the same without the dog. When you analyze other people's videos, you have to think that way. Physical state. This one is fun. Physical state is your emotional. What did I say? Physical state. I think I meant to say personal state. Anyway, physical state. That could mean that you are somehow somewhat injured. So if you're a handicapped person and you try to do physical activity, that will make the video more interesting. If you have some other kind of condition that is physical or even mental, if you have like obsessive compulsive disorder, that could be an angle for you. Honestly, I have no idea the people who could be watching this, and you could be any of those, and you don't have to be embarrassed about it. And the last one I came up with was a speed. Doing anything too fast or too slow also can make a difference in your channel. If you do editing, video editing super fast, that would definitely draw my attention. If you promise a person that you're going to do something 10 times faster than they usually do it, that would draw my attention. Let's say for conditions. Conditions is the one thing I want to warn you here. When it comes to conditions for your channel unique formula, you're going to choose only one. I mean, only a few of this. And by a few, I mean that literally, maybe 2 or 3, even 1 could be good enough. You don't want to dwell too long in this. Choose 1 or 2 important conditions that you want to have and move on. The last one is how your videos are presented. That's the last question. Here I put some styles that I am familiar with. It could help you a lot. Talking to the camera, that's me right now. Selfie, you can grab your phone, right? It's gonna look like this. That's another presentation style. I like to use the word presentation style as well. Hands only. If you have a DIY channel, you can have the camera recording just your hands. If you have a piano tutorial channel, you can have the camera recording only your hands on the piano. Got it? Share your screen. That's sort of what I'm doing now. You can share your screen for anything. Tutorials are very common. You can be sharing. If you're teaching Excel, for instance, you would use share screen. B-roll, for those who are not familiar with the term, when you have a channel format where you're talking to the camera, or something, or talking to the camera only, or hands only, as a main presentation style. Every channel has a main presentation style and a few secondary ones. B-roll is the footage that appears on screen when you're not doing that. So if I play stock footage right now in the middle of this, that's going to be B-roll. If I play a video of myself being at work with my laptop as I'm speaking, that's B-roll as well. If I talk about the importance of hydration and you hear my voice, but you see me drinking water at the same time, that's B-roll. Voiceover sort of goes together with many of this, like share screen, hands only, and B-roll. The voice has to be there. Sometimes the voice doesn't need to be there. So you could be mute and simply let the video play, let the scene play. And lastly is animation. Animation, I know it can be also considered a niche, but that depends on your primary niche. If your primary niche is animation, fine. But if your primary niche is something else, like marketing, you can make an animated channel about something that you sell. In fact, that style of advertising is very popular these days. And you can take just about anything else. If you want to talk about personal growth and animate it instead of showing yourself, why not? I thought there was something else important that I'm missing that I should say. Yes, I did say that. Touched on it a little bit. Every channel has a primary way of being presented. Ideally, you would have, for your channel to be more unique, be more engaging, and have better pace, you need 2 or 3 ways of presenting your video. A common mistake a lot of creators make is to have one type of presentation style. I know that a lot of you are not in that level. You are more advanced, but so we're clear, you need 2 or 3 presentation types. A lot of novice creators have only one style of presenting their video, and that can make it terribly boring, unfortunately. You can do everything right and have one presentation style and leave thousands of views on the table. I want you to know that. In fact, I wanted to start making changes to your channel, because if your channel happens to have 1 or 2 presentation styles, today you could add 1 more and be 1 step ahead than you were before. Isn't that interesting? Let's continue with this. All right, this week I came up with the template of the channel unique formula. Took me a lot of research, a lot of tweaking, a lot of sudden ideas that hit my head from one moment to the next, but I think I have a very neat channel unique formula. We're going to use all the elements that I described prior to this point, or at least most of them, and use this template to answer the question, what is my channel about, in a way that is unique? Let's break this down. The sentence looks like this. I have a structure of the channel in a tone, in a niche. So before you say niche, like you put everything together. Structure, tone, niche. Channel, for audience, who is it for? Where, creator, who's the creator? Maybe I'm a life coach or a personal development fanatic. Activity, what it is that you do there. Do you do interviews? Do you do tutorials? Do you do pranks with your friends? Do you play video games? And then this is a very interesting part. With, without, but, except, only if. Condition, we talked about that. And another activity related to the first one, in location. I know this seems very messy, and it's not going to be 100% applicable to everyone here, but you can go really far with this. The cool part is that most likely you are a YouTube creator. You have published several videos, hopefully, and a lot of these elements are already present in your video. But here's the thing. If you don't acknowledge that those elements are there, you're going to miss out on a big opportunity. You're going to fall into the trap of doing science the wrong way. When you do science the wrong way, you're working with too many variables at the same time, and you never know what works and what doesn't. There you go. Now, I want to give you a little tease of something bigger that I'm working on, which is to take the channel unique formula and insert it into ChatGPT, the AI chat by OpenAI. I hope you're familiar with the app. I am not going to describe what it is, but it uses artificial intelligence to answer and make up pretty much anything that you can think of in terms of writing. And wouldn't it be interesting and wouldn't it be powerful to have ChatGPT take a formula like this and come up with dozens of very unique ideas that you could use for your channel? And even if you haven't started a channel, you could have the most solid start by implementing the channel unique formula strategy. I want to wrap things up with one of my favorite strategies in the world. In fact, this is not a strategy exactly. This is the third principle of virality, pattern disruption. Use pattern disruption to stand out even more. Now, I hope you've been following me so far with this, because by using pattern disruption, things can get insane. Pattern disruption, what is pattern disruption? Pattern disruption is to say or show something unusual, sudden, or unexpected. Apply pattern disruption to the elements of the unique channel formula and get the attention that you deserve. In other words, you can do a lot of brainstorming with the element of the channel unique formula: creator, condition, niche, structure, tone, presentation style. You can do a lot of that brainstorming by yourself or with the help of ChatGPT. But what if you could go even wilder than that? What if you could make the closest thing to what it is to have a viral idea? You can. And that's what pattern disruption does. We have 4 ways of using pattern disruption in our channel unique format and beyond. Challenge assumptions. That means that you know what your audience thinks. The research is important in this phase. You know what your audience believes in, and you present an idea that is contradictory to them. If I am talking about the YouTube growth field and say that you can make videos without showing your face, that could probably get your attention. I know that's nothing new these days, but it was a few years ago. If I was to tell you that you can create 1 video a day without 1 video a day for free, without spending any money, that would probably make you tick, because it challenges your assumptions. If I told you that you can edit a 30-minute video in 1 hour, that would probably challenge your assumptions, because you are probably used to thinking that editing takes a very long time. You can apply challenging assumptions to anything, really. I know I'm inclined to talk about educational channel educational content or video games, because that's another passion of mine. But you can apply this to anything. Just put yourself in their shoes and make sure they hear or see something that makes them tick, that makes them think, hey, that's not true, or would I be wrong? That's what this is. 2, contrasting elements. When I say contrasting elements, I literally mean that you're taking two things that are opposites. If you have old people making rap music, that to common sense, even if it's not, literally, to common sense, that is contradictory. If you say that you can get thin by eating a lot of fat, you're contrasting elements, because that doesn't seem to make sense in a way. Contrasting elements is to say, I have the tallest basketball player and the shortest basketball player are in the same team. Contrasting. You can do tallest and shortest. You can do biggest and smallest. You can do, Democrat and Republican, right? Imagine this: Democrats and Republicans getting along. That could be an idea. Then unrelated elements. Unrelated elements is similar, except that instead of going directly with the opposites, you're using something, a third party, a third element thing that seems to be completely unrelated, but somehow you decide to put them together. And I saw a video recently that, and maybe you have seen it too, where they combine 𝘄𝐿 SquarePants with Yu-Gi-Oh! The anime. That is completely unrelated. That was a very good example. That video did go viral, and unrelated elements is not the only strategy that was present in it, but it was amazing. It's a perfect example of using unrelated elements. What if you decide to use a very inconvenient object to do a task? Or what if you say, let me tell you this one. What if you say, why I still use a typewriter instead of a computer, right? That's unrelated. And that also challenges assumptions. In fact, these 4 ways of using pattern disruption tend to intertwine a lot. So you should not be surprised if you use contrasting elements and challenge assumptions at the same time. That happens a lot. The 4th one, which will also intertwine with the others, is extremes on both ends. I like to say on both ends because when we hear the word extreme, we tend to imagine something that's very big or very dangerous or very impressive, but it doesn't have to be. Extremes on the other end could be something that's way too small, way too weak, way too boring even. And there you have it. So, and if you pay attention, if you are a nerd like me and love to analyze videos that go viral, you're going to see all 4 of these pattern disruption ways in almost every video by MrBeast. MrBeast is the best YouTuber in the world, not just because he had 150 million subscribers, but he literally is the best in the world because he makes the best content. He's not my favorite YouTuber though, but he makes the best content, and he's using pattern disruption constantly. Not only the channel idea, but also each video and the titles and the thumbnails and what happens inside the video. And those moments that totally blow your mind. Pattern disruption is everywhere. And pattern disruption could mean the difference between having a very good channel and a great channel. The way you're going to apply this today or after today, when you watch the recording of the session, is by saying, how can I use all these elements? How my video is presented, relevant conditions in my videos, what it is about me that's important or special, what my channel is about. You're going to take all these elements, do a big brainstorming session, By the way, this may sound like a lot of work, but you could easily do it in a couple of hours. Seriously, it's totally worth it. You could literally spend some minutes every day in the next 7 days and get a solid channel unique formula. So I don't want you to dismiss this as looking like too much work, too much overthinking, because you're gonna need it. Isn't it easier to spend a few hours in your channel formula than making 10 videos that flop? You probably know the answer. As I was saying, you can apply pattern disruption to all those elements, all those descriptions, and come up with a very solid idea that could take you to a viral hit or more. But even if you're not that kind of person, even if you're a dissector, somebody who doesn't believe in virality because it's just once in a lifetime, because it's about luck. If you're that kind of person, you'll be fine, because the goal, almost nobody, as far as I know, nobody has the virality code. Nobody can say, okay, give me anything and I will make a viral video with it. Nobody can say that, as far as I know. But if you aim at going viral, your videos will perform better. That is the goal. That's what you're looking for. So if you are the kind of person who's excited about going viral, continue being excited, use this framework and try to go viral. But if you're not that kind of person, if you are a little bit more pessimistic about it, if you are skeptic about viral content, if you think it's luck, if you think it's about being dumb on camera, aim at it. Okay, that's where I'm going. This is the framework to go really far with my videos. I don't care if I don't get 1 million views. I care that I increase the quality of my content. Oh, I got excited myself. It's not the end of it. Well, I'm going to continue addressing some of these possible concerns that you have, and then I'm going to wrap up the whole session, and hopefully you will really enjoy doing this exercise. I can't emphasize enough the importance of doing this, so get it done. And if you need help, let me know, because I would love to be the one helping you doing this. Each section, by the way, this channel unique formula strategy is only one strategy from my entire framework that is going to become an online course called the 8 Strategies to Unleash Your Creative Potential and Your YouTube Channel Growth. That's an online course that I'm working on, and it's already got a few lessons. I'm looking to reach the 8 strategies in the next month or so. And each lesson has a section that I like to call Transform Limiting Beliefs. That's what's showing on screen right now. And the goal is to crush your doubts. If you doubt the strategy, if you doubt yourself, if you think there is something external, some kind of external factor that is stopping you from succeeding, this is the time to crush them. Personal development again. Let's talk about those limiting beliefs. The first one is, I am not sure I can come up with a unique brand for my channel. Well, it's time you start believing in yourself, because you totally got this. The answer to that question, to that in fear or insecurity, is that there is a process that taps into your creativity to create a unique idea. You saw the process by yourself. Remember that it's all about adding layers to a very simple idea, which is your niche, and go bananas. The next one is a fear or insecurity that some of you can have is, I am not sure how to incorporate unique branding into my content without feeling it forced. Unique branding is the contrary of forcing things. It's enabling you to create better content, to have something more solid on which to build things, and to have a clear direction. Because once you do this crazy exercise, you will have everything on paper or on your Google Doc, whatever you want to call it, and follow that. That's your map. That's going to tell you what you should base your content on, and then you can get even more creative once you reach the video creation phase. So unique branding makes the process easier by providing direction and focus. So about a few more limiting beliefs. It looks like there's just one more left. It takes too much time. I have addressed this one. It takes too much time and effort to create a unique branding for my channel. It does take some effort, but the good news is that you only have to do it once. And I want to give you a word of warning here, because this is not 100% true. You have to do it once and stick to it. The same way you chose your niche, the same way you chose to become a YouTuber, you have to stick to this. Stick to your channel unique branding, make several videos, do it for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. And along the way, you're going to get to know your audience more and get to see what's working, and then tweak your channel unique formula. Do one tweak at a time, don't go nuts. But the biggest effort is getting it done this time. If you have a channel unique formula that seems to work really well, getting tons of views, tweak it. Use this process, use these prompts to elevate your creativity, to use pattern disruption more, and have an idea that is even more powerful than what you already have. Anyone can benefit from this. If you haven't started a channel, you can start the most solid way with this process. If you have started but you don't see growth, this is your process. If you're advanced and you want to take things to the next level, this is your process. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and have a look at what's going on YouTube, on the YouTube live page. Great. All right, that was it, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Keep this video handy. It could really change the way you approach your channel and the way you make videos. And if you have questions, or if you see yourself not super confident about getting this done, reach out to me.
Thank you,
Thanks everyone for
Patrick.
coming. Thank you, Debbie. I'm going to, I wonder if there's a way to stop the live stream for a moment.